Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi there. We have seen some flooding develop from recent rains. Here's some of Sunday's rain reports with a daily record in Beckley, 1.6 inches, over an inch for Elkins and Clarksburg, a good half inch for Parkersburg, Huntington only about a tenth of an inch, Charleston 0.33 on Sunday, so month to date still behind average by 1.6 inches, and year to date over a 5-inch deficit. More rain through Wednesday night that could be heavy at times, bringing localized accumulations surpassing an inch. A good target for this is near Franklin, otherwise amounts dropping off going east to Martinsburg and north toward Wheeling. Many areas it can expect a good half inch, including Clarksburg, Parkersburg, Charleston, and Huntington. So we'll see scattered showers and storms chase off to the east this evening, but rain building back in as we head through the overnight hours. Another wet day on Tuesday with non-severe thunderstorms, but some heavy rainfall that could bring some flash flooding locally. Those concerns will repeat for us one more day on Wednesday before we put this wet pattern behind us. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Other wet places you could be traveling to: Atlanta, Charlotte, Orlando, Tampa, Myrtle Beach. But if you want to stay dry, Chicago is looking nice in the coming days. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast will bottom out to 56 in New Cumberland tonight, 60 for Moundsville and Morgantown, low 80s to 85 in Moundsville here for our Tuesday. Looking east to stay closer to 60 overnight with scattered showers and storms. 79 at Martinsburg, looking to Davis for 72 on Tuesday. Elkins, 60 tonight, 79 on Tuesday. Snowshoe not quite reaching 70, low 80s. Filling out as you look toward Weston and west of there. Then looking toward Lewisburg's 59 tonight with 75 on Tuesday, but 81 Charleston. More storms, as mentioned, through Wednesday. After that, getting to dry out and staying seasonable.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
5, 3, 1.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie hits a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
It is a Memorial Day edition of the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. We hope you enjoyed your holiday with your family, obviously keeping in mind what the holiday is all about, and was wondering right off the bat if anybody went to Memorial Day activities, the Grafton Parade most famously, 159 years of that parade. We'd like to hear from you if you took in any of that. Brad Howe is here. Good evening.
Good evening, Kyle.
You took in something special today as the Mountaineers are headed for the NCAA tournament. We knew late last night they were going to host, and today we know the bracket. West Virginia in the Morgantown Regional will play Binghamton, the 4th seed at 31-20. Kentucky and Wake Forest will square off at noon on Friday. That may be the most anticipated first-round tournament game.
That's a big one, and we'll digest this bracket and get into it. But yeah, just quickly on those two, both of them, if they throw their number ones, you're talking about MLB type of guys that are on the hill. They're just fantastic pitchers. So, and from a West Virginia perspective, Kyle, you hope that's the case.
Right.
You want Wake and Kentucky to have to throw their ones against each other there in game one. Absolutely right. So we'll break into that. But you're right. I was at the watch party today across town here in Morgantown, and it kind of a lot of things. First of all, just the event itself was awesome. Line of about 70 people when the doors opened to get inside there to start it. So just that, you now are not only selling out games, you have waiting to get in to watch the watch party with the team. And that was a lot of fun. And talked to Steve Sabins for a while. We'll hear from him coming up. And you know what's kind of nice, though, too? It's great that they released those host cities or host towns last night so that you didn't have that worry or pressure going into that today. You could go in relaxing, knowing you're in, knowing you've got the hosting situation, and you're just looking to see what your bracket is. But it struck me, not only the crowd, not only the excitement around the program, but just the fact that we're standing there getting ready to watch the bracket reveal, and you're hosting, and where this program is from where it's been. And I know we say that a lot, and we've said it a lot over the last few years, but I think it struck home again today when you're standing there watching all of those players that have come along here and taken this thing up to the next level. And now you have a great opportunity. You have another chance to host a regional at home in front of your fans, and it's going to be an absolute madhouse over at Kendrick Family Ballpark this weekend.
So the tournament is set. The bracket is set. As Brad mentioned, we'll hear from Coach Steve Sabins. He met the media. Gavin Kelly met the media briefly as well. And the Mountaineers obviously returned from Arizona, went 2-1 in the Big 12 championship tournament, got beat by Kansas 9-0 in the finals, but obviously the committee liked their resume and gave them a seed, a national seed. Now, they were the 16th seed. You're right. That would have been excruciating waiting that out if you didn't know today.
Well, and I tell you what, so a couple things jumped out to me. We can talk about the Big 12 tournament, too, because it was a heck of a run getting to the championship game. And, man, you had your opportunities. Bases loaded in back-to-back innings. You kind of thought when you didn't score in either of those innings that it might be tough to get the win. That was ultimately the case. But another great run. You end 3-1 over Kansas. I get that Kansas is seeded higher than West Virginia, and that's probably right. If we remove the gold and blue glasses, They won the regular season and the tournament title, so head-to-head at that point is probably the third factor, so I think I agree with that. I'm not sure I agree with the committee's assessment that the two best teams in the Big 12, a really respected league, are 15 and 16 on the seed list. I think that's where you could quibble a little bit, and I think West Virginia's at the point as a program. You're happy to host, that's great, but it's not just, hey, you're happy to host. West Virginia and Kansas probably should have been seeded a little bit higher. So if you were complaining about something or looking for something that probably wasn't exactly right on, it was that, number one. Number two, I don't think I'm going to pay attention to projections any further. I think every projection I saw for the last 2 weeks missed every single team they thought was coming to Morgantown. They weren't even. They're like 0 for 16 in the teams that are coming, and we end up with a field that you didn't expect, you didn't see in any of the projections. But it's interesting. Kentucky and West Virginia have turned into the backyard brawl.
We all should have figured it was going to be Kentucky.
3 out of 4 years now in the baseball tournament, they've been paired in the same region, so you'll get them again. And listen, Kentucky's happy to be in the tournament. There was a lot of people that think they weren't going to get in. They only won 2 SEC conference series all season. So Kentucky is in. The other one is Wake, as you mentioned, very good. You're talking about a Wake Forest team with a 20 RPI, so not too far behind where West Virginia is. Kentucky comes in at the 37 RPI. And then as we know, because you're the 16 seed, if you advance on, or the winner of this regional, whomever it is, advances on, you get number 1 UCLA in LA for the Super Regional. Cross that bridge when you get to it. But I do think the Big 12 was disrespected some and underseeded a little bit with the 15 and 16.
Two things there, and I agree with you somewhat, but two things there. Number one, last year the Big 12 had 0 host teams. So in that sense, they're way ahead of where they were a year ago, and I think we'll all agree this was a better league this year than it was last year. And number two, you hit on it. West Virginia is giddy to host. Kansas is more than giddy to host because it's incredible where that program has come from. So if you're, and Steve Sabins said as much, we're going to hear his comments. Somebody asked him, do you think you should have been seated higher? And he said, I'm ecstatic. We're in. Just give us a chance to host, and we'll take things from there. And if you're the committee, that may have played a factor.
Well,
if you're West Virginia and Kansas, the committee says, listen, don't give me no lip. We're giving you host opportunities. Take it and run with it. And I think that's what West Virginia and Kansas
and that's what Steve should say, because he's the coach and he's got to get these guys focused on hosting, not complaining. That's not what I have to do. And I think that's wrong. And you're not in a situation in this league where you have to be happy to just be in the tournament. This isn't, all due respect, I won't name other leagues. This isn't a little engine that could. This is a very quality, respected baseball league. And I think it was underseeded. And I know from standing in the room, I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Well, I'm sure.
Now go out and take that out on the teams that are in the regional.
Right. Go win it. All right. Well, SEC obviously well represented. 16 of the 16 regions, 12 of them have SEC representation, including the Morgantown region. Power 4 leagues made up approximately half the field, but that necessarily doesn't mean as much because Coastal Carolina, a non-Power 4 team, got all the way to the College World Series championship. The first time that's happened since 2008. And it's interesting.
And remember, Murray State was in there as well and advanced on. So
TCU and Pitt among the last 4 out, which TCU getting in would have given the Big 12 conference a 7th team in, which would have been over half the league, which would have been incredible. And again, most of the projections coming down the stretch had Pitt getting in, and some of them playing in this regional, which would have been incredible, would have been off the charts.
Yeah, again, but those projections were not right, nor were they really even close. But 39 RPI for Pitt, so much improved where Pitt has been. We saw what they did to West Virginia earlier this year, but they're sitting at home watching this and not a part of the Morgantown Regional.
In case you haven't heard, the other Big 12 teams that got in, of course, West Virginia and Kansas are hosting. West Virginia, Binghamton, Kentucky, Wake Forest in the Morgantown Regional. In the Lawrence, Kansas Regional, Kansas will play Northeastern off the bat, and Missouri State and Arkansas are in that region. And again, I thought Arkansas would be the highest seeded number 2. They end up going to the Kansas Regional, which may ultimately benefit West Virginia in a sense that they don't have to deal with Arkansas to win this region.
Yeah, that's about a coin flip if you go just off RPI, and the committee went with RPI in that particular rating, giving Wake Forest the nod, who's 20 in the RPI, Arkansas just behind them at 21, Kansas just above those two at 19, West Virginia at 17. So, again, you had to have a discussion about West Virginia over Kansas in the seeding, but again, the dual championships for Kansas, I'm sure, was the tiebreaker there.
The other teams to get in out of the Big 12, you've got Oklahoma State, a number 2 seed, going to Tuscaloosa. So Alabama, obviously the host there, playing Alabama State. That's going to be fun down there. And then Oklahoma State and USC Upstate as part of that regional. Cincinnati is a number 2 seed at the Mississippi State Regional. So you've got Mississippi State playing Lipscomb, 1 versus 4 there. Cincinnati, the 2 seed, playing a 39-win Louisiana team. UCF, a 2 seed. So UCF, the 2 seed in the Auburn Regional. Auburn plays Milwaukee in round 1. UCF plays North Carolina State. And then Arizona State is a number 3 seed in the Nebraska Regional. Nebraska against South Dakota State and Arizona State against Ole Miss. So
UCF gets in as a 36 RPI team that is in there just one notch above that 37 in Kentucky that we mentioned.
And a 2 seed. So in that sense, the Big 12 got some pretty good respect because of the 6 teams that are in, 5 of them are 1 or 2 seeds, with Arizona State as a number 3 seed. Now, it would have been great to see TCU get in. TCU, as they are right now, is an NCAA team. They just had so many injuries that torpedoed their season through the first half or the first 3 quarters even. But they're talented enough to be an NCAA tournament team, and they almost made it. But TCU and Pitt among the last 4 out in the bracket. So text line's open, 304, Talk 304. Your thoughts on the West Virginia situation? Are you going to attempt to come? How difficult will tickets be to get for this event?
Very
difficult.
Just I'll start with that. Very difficult to get.
All right. So, again, your thoughts on the seed, your thoughts on the Morgantown Regional, on the bracket overall, 304 Talk 304. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll hear from the head coach, Steve Sabins, his reaction this afternoon after the tournament bracket was set. We're in the Health Plan Studios. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline, and we're back after this.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
CityNet statewide Sportsline. We're inside the Health Plan Studios. 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. And we've got comments from head coach Steve Sabins coming up in just a moment. It was revealed today that West Virginia is hosting the regional, which will include the Mountaineers against Binghamton. And that's a 5 p.m. start time on Friday. Game 1 at noon. Kentucky against Wake Forest. And again, Brad, that Kentucky-Wake Forest right off the bat, it's going to be a dandy.
Yeah, and again, I'm interested to see what they do from a pitching matchup because both of those teams have number one guys that are absolutely lights out and electric throwers on the hill. So will they feel like they want to get out in front and win that game? How important is that to them? And if you're a West Virginia perspective, you're certainly hoping those two number ones go first and match up against each other.
They both have outstanding position players as well. Tyler Bell of Kentucky's projected to be a first-round pick in the draft this year, a .352 hitter with 7 home runs. He runs pretty well, 10 of 12 stolen bases. And Cade Lewis of Wake Forest was first-team All-ACC after hitting .363. Wake Forest has got a number of double-figure home run guys. They've got 4 guys with 10 or more home runs. And again, the pitching for these teams, their frontline guys are very, very good. Chris Lavanis of Wake Forest was first-team All-ACC, 10-3 with an incredible 110 strikeouts in 68 innings. And Kentucky's got a number one who's very, very good. Jackson Jelkin, who's 8-3, 98 strikeouts in 88 innings. So that matchup is going to be incredible. All right, comments from Steve Sabins. The bracket was announced between 12 and 1 o'clock, and shortly after that, Mountaineer coach Steve Sabins met the media.
Does this count for the Golden Blue Nation weekly?
No, unfortunately it does not. We're going to do this all again.
Amazing.
Yeah. Your reaction to the regional draw and the experience here today?
Just excited. It was incredible atmosphere. So many people came out to support the team. It's been fun. We did this here at this location last year, and so to see it grow and the excitement of our players and to be able to go to 4 consecutive regionals is certainly special. And mixing a hosting situation for the community and the state, there's nothing better. Like the people of this state are passionate about our program. They're passionate about WVU, and so to be able to bring an event like this here is meaningful to me, and I'm just really proud of the staff and the players and my family and everybody that's going to get to experience high-level college baseball. There'll be great opponents. The atmosphere in Morgantown is really hard to beat. I know that tickets will be extremely hard to come by, and we will pack as many people in that place as the fire marshal allows.
Steve, is the difference watching the selection show when you know you're hosting versus waiting, for an at-large?
Yeah, fortunately, we hadn't been on the bubble for an at-large in a few years. If you are, you probably aren't at the GOAT eating pretzels and cheese dip. So I think in general, we haven't had to sweat that side out too much, but you're always sweating something out, whether it's a host or a national seed, or it's always one game, or you could always look at it like you're being hosed, or you could look at it like you're just fortunate to be in the tournament. Once you're in the tournament, it's always my philosophy is you got a chance to win the whole thing. So it's really just about getting in that. Obviously, the percentages and data suggest if you host, you have a better chance of going deeper into this tournament.
Coach, what's it mean to you that you have a tournament coming up this week, national traditional powers, Kentucky and Wake Forest, and they're coming to Morgantown?
It's awesome. I could talk about that for an hour. When I got here in 2015, I hadn't been in regional in 20 years, and when we cracked through in 2017, it was the first time in 21 years. And so people didn't know we had a baseball team back then. We were transitioning from Hawley Field into a beautiful ballpark that was capable of hosting, and the investment from the university and the community to make this program great has been vast. And then we host in 2019, which was the first time in 65 years when we pulled that off. And now we're going to 4 consecutive regionals and mixing and hosting. We've been to back-to-back super regionals, so it's just become more common that our program is mentioned with those kind of programs, right? And so I think in the baseball world, it's not surprising, and with people that really follow the sport, they know what this program is and how it's been built and the success that it's had. But I think if you're just casual observer, you may have some of those feelings like, man, those are traditional or they've been great. But I think we're certainly, performed at a very high level consistently for the last 6-7 years.
Is it an NCAA bylaw that when West Virginia and Kentucky make the postseason, they have to be paired? 3 of the last 4 years, we've matched up with them. We get to add a little bit of flair because this fall we actually played Kentucky and Wake Forest in fall competitions because they're great opponents and it's relatively regional. So we went to Prasco Park, which is a beautiful ballpark that hosted us in Kentucky. So we got to play them early in the fall, and that's when everyone's trying to figure out their pitching and their hitting and who can do what a little bit. And then we traveled down to Wake and played at their place this fall. And so our team's just familiar with those jerseys and like with those players and with those coaches. We've seen those players, so I think that's good for our team.
Any pitching plans to announce?
Not yet. We got to go look. My wife, as soon as Binghamton was announced, she was like, "Is that good?" And I said, I haven't done a lot of scouting reports on Binghamton in my free time this spring, so I have no idea what they're doing. They're obviously an incredible team. I remember several years ago they had an $80 million anonymous donation to their program where they built a state-of-the-art facility, incredible resources, and it's obviously helped them recruit at a high level and be successful there. And so they're going to be a hell of a team. But we need to go look at just some general matchup stuff, left versus right, and how they've done offensively and where they stack up, and what pitcher may be a good matchup for them. So that's what we'll do today.
When that 3-line came up and you saw Kentucky and not the team up north there, was there any disappointment in maybe not seeing Pitt in Morgantown?
No, I try not to get too wrapped up in that because I think that's always going to be the storyline. Yeah. It's like West Virginia first, what's going on with Pitt, right? That's right. Always the next question, essentially. They had a good year, so nothing to knock on Pitt at all. I think they were strongly on the bubble and hoping that they got their first regional berth in a long time. And so, the atmosphere in Morgantown will be electric and insane regardless. If Pitt were to come to this, you'd probably need a lot more police in the building, I would have to guess.
Your thoughts on Kansas and WVU being the last two national seeds and the respect or maybe lack thereof of the Big 12?
No, like I said, I don't go there. I think you could view it that way, or the fact that there were 0 Big 12 hosts last year, so maybe a ton of respect for the league this year. And those were the 2 clearly best teams in our league this season. Finished 1 and 2 in just about everything, and then you look at the statistics and the analytics, and we're almost identical to each other. And so our league plays incredible baseball. I would have really liked to see TCU get in the field. They're deserving. They have a lot of history. They have a great team. They were injured in the middle of the year and then got healthier down the stretch. And so being able to have half of our league make the postseason felt appropriate, and that didn't happen this year, but we got 2 hosts in. So I think just kind of keep chipping away at it.
Can you speak to being at home? I mean, I don't know what the numbers are. 22 home games this year has got to be the fewest of any national seed, probably. Yep. So just playing at home as opposed to getting an airplane and travel.
Awesome. I think it's important for Joey Cuomo, our director of operations. That guy is a full-time travel agent, and so being able to hang out and worry more about just some meals and some things like that is huge for him. But the path to Omaha is clearly in hosting. What we've done for the last 2 years, winning at somebody else's regional is incredibly hard. If there's a team that can do it, it's West Virginia, because of the amount of road games that we play. We consistently play on the road, and over the last 2 years, I'd have to look. You're the man to actually look, but we've probably won more road games than anybody in the nation from a Power 4 school perspective.
Just the sheer travel, all of the volume of travel you guys have done over the last few years.
It does. It has an effect. It has a human effect, and even to start this season, we went on the road twice before the season began to get out of snowstorms, to be able to practice, to get ready for the season. So it's a long season, and then you add 2 weekends that we leave Morgantown to essentially just prepare to play, and it does catch up to guys. And we're just coming across the country where we traveled over 1,000 miles to play in a Big 12 tournament. We stay up till 3 a.m. our time. You compete for a championship. So to get back here and basically settle in, it's really important. So we'll have certain meals at certain times just to get back on a sleep schedule. It matters a ton. It's like you bounce from the West Coast and then you travel again and you get on planes and you're worried about charters and half the teams taking certain flights. It can beat you up. So it's very good for us.
So are you happy with 16? Do you feel like that you guys should be higher than that?
I'm thrilled. Give us a host, give us an opportunity in the tournament. I'm all in, and then I think you let the committee kind of dictate and decide where that falls. Those stuff's out of our control. You can look back and say, we won 8 out of 10 Big 12 series. We lost 2 series the entire season. So it's like, well, should have you only lost 1 series? Well, hell, I'm trying, right? It's all you can do. You just go to work every day and you play your ass off, and then you let them kind of decide where that stacks up.
Steve, how different is the program now versus 2019?
Immensely. College athletics is completely different. I mean, we weren't paying players. We had half the staff members. We hadn't hosted in 65 years. We didn't have offices upstairs. I mean, the list goes on and on. Everything has essentially been built from scratch. And so I would say almost every year this program is unrecognizable from the year before. And so that far back, it's very different. The depth of the team is very different. In 2019, Manoa led us to that regional hosting. He was one of the best pitchers in the country, ended up being a first rounder. And so it's just a different makeup of the team. We have more depth and a different university, a different college, a different program.
Coach, along those lines, from these last 4 years, 4th year now in a row for you guys, seedings and traveling and hosting aside, are you guys in a better position now than the previous 3 NCAA tournaments you guys were at?
Position-wise, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, because if you're hosting, you're just in a better position. You're getting to stay in your own bed, and you have comfort with the field and familiarity. You have weight room access. You have a meal room to work out of. I don't want to give any clickbait, but there's been situations where you travel where you're sleeping and staying is maybe not ideal, right? And so for us, it's just a better situation. So to say that we're in the best situation we've been in the last 4 years, it's a no-brainer. You're hosting.
I guess the other side of that's the ticket drama. The ticket drama for your kids, being able to get everybody into the ballpark, that kind of thing. So I guess that's the thing it's different.
Yeah, and that can be a challenge without a doubt. Sometimes you go on the road and you go in hotel rooms and you separate and it's just baseball, right? All of a sudden it's like, guys got uncles that they hadn't heard of from 7 years that are asking them for tickets and grandma wants to stay in their dorm room or in their apartment. And so those are things that we need to just discuss as a team because there are a lot of distractions that can happen at home.
Thank you.
Yep.
Head coach Steve Sabins there, his reaction a few minutes after West Virginia was announced as a regional host. And the Mountaineers, again, will play Binghamton 5 o'clock on Friday, Kentucky and Wake Forest, the other half of the bracket playing at noon on Friday. Those games at Kendrick Family Ballpark, West Virginia, hosting an SEC team and an ACC team in a regional.
It's going to be a blast. It is going to be absolutely bonkers over there all day. That's going to start early in the day and continue on until West Virginia takes the field. And I do think he made an interesting point there at the end. And listen, you would rather host all day long than not. But it is going to be different in having to tune out the distractions that come with that and the giant crowd that will be there and keeping your emotions somewhat in check. It is a different mentality than when you go on the road and you have that bunker mentality where we're all in this together and we're the only ones here that believe in us. So it will be work, but that's one of the things Steve is very good at, right? The mental side of this, the approach of this, and we've seen it from this team be able to handle this stuff extremely well, not only over the course of the season, but within games when we've seen them fall behind, they don't flinch. So they'll handle it, but it is something they need to address, which he is obviously on top of.
Text line 304-TALK 304. Texter says, is there a contract that Kentucky and West Virginia meet in every hoops and baseball bracket?
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yes, that happens a lot. Let's see. Texter says, we all should know by now in the coal fields, Hatfield, McCoy border of the state, you can't even compare the hate for Kentucky to the backyard brawl. It's nearly 2 centuries old feud of hatred. So the Hatfield and we can only hope the Hatfield-McCoy rivalry gets renewed in Morgantown.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if these two teams end up playing this over the weekend, you will see it get loud and chippy early. There's a lot of backstory there. There's a lot of familiarity with these teams. Mm-hmm. The crowd will be yippy both ways. This will be a fun college baseball environment, but it will be loud and chippy. Just mark it down.
Texter says the economic impact is what excites me, and I hope they can round up some extra bleachers and spice the place up a little bit. This is a big leap forward for the WVU athletics program as a whole. Let's go. That is amazing, hosting a women's basketball tournament games and a baseball regional all within a couple of months.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's historic on both fronts. And if you want to go back further, hosting soccer as well. So I believe it's the first time in West Virginia's history that you've hosted 4 different NCAA regionals in Morgantown, which is pretty remarkable. So yeah, really historic and a lot of fun. And it was interesting. Steve said something to me today that he mentioned a quote that Randy Mazey made before, right after the last time West Virginia was awarded the host. He said, generally the program's never the same after you get that first hosting bid. And man, that was a quality prophetic statement, right? As this program has just continued to take off in that direction, higher and higher and better as the years have come on, and here you are back hosting again.
Mm-hmm. Texter says, hope everyone enjoyed their Memorial Day. Glad to see the baseball team hosting. Don't particularly like the idea of being paired with the UCLA regional for obvious reasons, but let me ask you this. If we're lucky enough to win our regional and UCLA ends up losing theirs, who would host the Super? Well, the national seed would. In that scenario, the national seed would be West Virginia, and they would host. So, yeah, that's the answer to that question. But, again, UCLA hosting their regional as the overall number 1 seed.
Virginia Tech, Cal Poly, and St. Mary's are the teams that they have out there. If you go strictly off RPI ratings, this Morgantown regional is a tough one, as we could see it on paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listed right now is the 5th most difficult region in terms of average RPI for the teams. The LA regional more down near towards the middle of the pack there, if you're looking ahead.
Well, yeah, that's what you would expect with the number 1 overall seed compared to the 16th seed. All right, we'll continue with the text when we return. Also, comments from Gavin Kelly. He met the media this afternoon as well. We're in the Health Plan Studios, and CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door, and now is the perfect time to connect. Free equipment, free installation, no contract, local customer support you can trust, fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Your heart deserves the best, and at the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, you'll find world-class care without leaving West Virginia. Our cardiology experts offer everything from routine screenings to treatment for complex heart conditions. Using the latest diagnostic tools and minimally invasive procedures, we focus on your long-term health so you can stay strong for the moments that matter. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi there. We have seen some flooding develop from recent rains. Here's some of Sunday's rain reports with a daily record in Beckley, 1.6 inches, over an inch for Elkins and Clarksburg, a good ½ inch for Parkersburg, Huntington only about a 1/10 of an inch, Charleston 0.33 on Sunday, so month to date still behind average by 1.6 inches, and year to date over a 5-inch deficit. More rain through Wednesday night that could be heavy at times, bringing localized accumulations surpassing an inch. A good target for this is near Franklin, otherwise amounts dropping off going east to Martinsburg and north toward Wheeling. Many areas it can expect a good ½ inch, including Clarksburg, Parkersburg, Charleston, and Huntington. So we'll see scattered showers and storms chase off to the east this evening, but rain building back in as we head through the overnight hours. Another wet day on Tuesday with non-severe thunderstorms, but some heavy rainfall that could bring some flash flooding locally. Those concerns will repeat for us one more day on Wednesday before we put this wet pattern behind us. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Other wet places you could be traveling to: Atlanta, Charlotte, Orlando, Tampa, Myrtle Beach. But if you want to stay dry, Chicago is looking nice in the coming days. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast will bottom out to 56 in New Cumberland tonight, 60 for Moundsville and Morgantown, low 80s to 85 in Moundsville here for our Tuesday. Looking east to stay closer to 60 overnight with scattered showers and storms. 79 at Martinsburg, looking to Davis for 72 on Tuesday. Elkins, 60 tonight, 79 on Tuesday. Snowshoe not quite reaching 70, low 80s. Filling out as you look toward Weston and west of there. Then looking toward Lewisburg's 59 tonight with 75 on Tuesday, but 81 Charleston. More storms, as mentioned, through Wednesday. After that, getting to dry out and staying seasonable.
CityNet statewide Sportsline. We're in the Health Plan Studios on this Memorial Day. West Virginia home to Binghamton, 5 o'clock Friday. Kentucky and Wake Forest at noon on Friday from Kendrick Family Ballpark. Let's get some reaction from WVU's All-America candidate, catcher, second baseman Gavin Kelly.
First of all, recovery from getting hit on the hand. How's that feeling? Anything different? Do you try to rush rehab?
No, I'm all good. I'm 100%.
Going through that, a lot of highs and lows, a lot of emotions out in Arizona. How do you personally reset from that to get ready on another, obviously highly emotional games?
Yeah, I mean, I just stick to the approach, get back to work, get back to our routines and trust in the process and being together.
Having played at Clemson and LSU last year, how do you think the crowd here will compare?
Oh, Morgantown's going to be electric. It's a dream come true, and it's really awesome. The state, the city, they deserve it, so it's awesome.
What were your thoughts as kind of the selection show was going on and you start kind of running the numbers there, like, okay, West Virginia has to be one of these last couple seeds, and what are your thoughts?
It's just like nothing crazy. I don't care who we play. It's just once we get in between the lines, it's us versus them, so let's go. So it doesn't matter where we are or who we're playing against. I honestly thought they were going to get in with the tournament run that they had, and I think it would have been really cool that if they did get in and got sent here, because we owe them one, to say the least.
When you learn that you're the 16th seed, do you think it all back to some of the close wins and maybe what it would have been like not pulling out a few of those games, like the UCF one?
Yeah, I mean, the past is the past, so we can't control that, and it would have been cool if we were a top 8 seed to be able to have the lock for a super, but we're just taking it day by day and not getting ahead of ourselves and just focusing on what's ahead.
So what do you and the pitchers do to prepare? I mean, obviously your normal workout stuff, but different things you talk about. What are the things that you go over that are important to you a couple days before games?
I mean, there's scouting report stuff, so just understanding what the hitters' tendencies are or what they're trying to do, but other than that, it's just building a relationship with them and being able to gain their trust and just understanding what their pitches are and how to make them have success.
Who takes the lead on that, you or pitchers?
For what?
When you're going over things, pointing things out, one side or the other have to take the lead, kind of going through everything?
Definitely the pitching coaches and the pitchers.
Gavin, having gone through that experience last year with the Clemson and then going to LSU, what do you take from that to move into this year now?
I mean, we have a bunch of guys that have been there before that know what it takes to get there and know what it also feels to lose while you're there. So it's a special group, especially having people like Brody Cresser around who has been there twice and understands what it takes, but also knows what it feels like to lose. So I'd say it's a unique feeling.
When the announcement came out yesterday that you guys are hosting, did you feel solid about like the team? Did you guys feel like you're going to be a host?
Yeah, for sure. From what we did, conference and non-conference wise, we deserve it, and it's special because I think the city of Morgantown, like I said, deserves it, and it's going to be electric.
Did it make today any different though, knowing that you had, day before you were going to host?
Nah, not really.
Good.
So Gavin Kelly there, his thoughts after West Virginia's announcement today. And Brody Cresser, right? 3 guys?
Yeah, so Brody Cresser that you mentioned, it's great to see him get another crack at an NCAA tournament. 5th-year guy, been here a while, came from Des Moines Area Community College, and he will be joining us on a special 3 guys before the game coming up tomorrow. So we'll release that, should have that out hopefully by noonish, early afternoon. So we'll have a good sit-down with Brody Cresser.
Very good. And that drops tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yep. Should be right around noon or a little bit after.
All right. We'll have hopefully some comments on Sportsline.
Correct.
Tomorrow night. Texter agrees with you. Good grief. We're confident West Virginia would host, but the 16 seed feels like West Virginia got slided again, even though they're hosting.
Yeah, I agree.
304 Talk 304. Texter asks, let's see, wouldn't it be wise to seed the tournament on a more of a regional basis? West Virginia, Kentucky, and Wake, then other regions like Oregon, Oregon State, and Washington State. Seems like a lot of travel. Here's hoping Wake and UK have to burn up a bunch of pitching on Friday to set up some more favorable matchups for the weekend. I think I don't think I read this correctly. I think his point is that they seem to seed this tournament a little bit more on a regional basis. I mean, there are some outliers. The UCLA regional has St. Mary's and Cal Poly. Virginia Tech's making a long trip. West Virginia has Kentucky and Wake Forest, Binghamton. Those are reasonably close. As he mentioned, Oregon, Washington State, and Oregon State are all in the same regional, although Yale's got a long flight. So there may be something to that. There's a region with 3 Carolina teams plus Tennessee. So there is a little something to that with a little bit more of a regional flavor.
It does look more regional, but it's interesting. We talked to Sean Kovich here recently, and he said it was the exact opposite in golf. They didn't take that into account at all and just went strictly on a seed line. So a little different approach here for baseball, it appears.
304 Talk 304. We'll talk about some other things that went on today. We got some baseball regional finals and teams that have qualified for the state tournament. Also on this Memorial Day holiday, there was a lot of Major League Baseball today as well. This is the CityNet statewide sports line. We're in the Health Plan studios since 1979. The Health Plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind.
And onions.
Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Memorial Day edition of the CityNet statewide sports line on the day. West Virginia gets its regional opponent, the regional bracket, filled out. There are some other things going on around the state, including baseball regional finals. And the baseball tournament's not for a couple of weeks. The softball tournaments begin on Wednesday of this week, single A and double A, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then there's a break. And next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the AAA and 4A softball state championships will be played. So today in baseball, Washington beat Jefferson 11-7.
Ooh.
So Washington advances to the state tournament. Jefferson's still alive. They'll have to play their way back through. But that's a huge win for Washington, knocking off Jefferson to go to the state tournament. East Fairmont beats Brook 13-2. So East Fairmont is headed to the state tournament. Bridgeport, of course, over Elkins 7-2. And on a season where Coach Robert Shields gets his 1,000th career win, Bridgeport is headed back to the state tournament. Spring Valley blanked Winfield 3-0. Spring Valley advances to the state tournament. Wheeling Central Catholic blanked Weir 11-0. Wheeling Central on to the state tournament. Buffalo beat Charleston Catholic 3-2 in 8 innings. And that eliminates Charleston Catholic, but Buffalo is headed to the state tournament, a team that has had some history there. Some elimination games. Martinsburg beat Wheeling Park 2-1. So Wheeling Park is out. Wirt County over Tulsa 10-0. So Tulsa is out, and Martinsburg and Wirt County stay alive in their respective classes. We've got more games tonight, games that are underway. There's about a half dozen other baseball regional games underway this evening. We finally got some good weather.
Yeah, finally. Then we still have a couple of weeks until the state tournament for baseball. Softball, of course, starting next week. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage on that as well as all the games.
Yes, all the softball radio play-by-play of all the softball games at WVMetroNews.com. Again, starting this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with single and double A. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week with the AAA and the Quad A games. All the baseball games, the first several days of the tournament, radio play-by-play at the website, and then all 4 state championship games on Metro News Television.
Now, you'll be down there all week, so we'll have you join us each night this week. Will you be here tomorrow?
Yeah,
and then the rest of the week we'll have you join from down there and check in with us with an update.
We'll probably end up hosting the show from down there Friday with the regional baseball game going on, and we'll check in with Greg and Brad, and who knows who else will be there. So we'll work that out. We'll get you the information, no problem, here on Metro News. Major League Baseball today, I watched the Cardinals and the Brewers, and Jacob Mizorowski threw 57 pitches of 100-plus miles an hour. Now, if Skeens is 1 and Tarek Skubal, who I know is injured, is 1A, where does Jacob Mizorowski fall?
He's in that conversation. I mean, he's coming, right? Young dude, and absolutely throws gas, as you just outlined right there.
He was named to the All-Star team last year, which didn't sit well.
Yeah, very controversial.
Yeah, it was a bit controversial, but no controversy this year, as he's 5-2 with a 1.83 ERA, as he just gassed the Cardinals today, as Milwaukee won 5-1. And, there were some Cardinals walking away from the batter's box, and their eyes were like plates.
Yeah, he's got stuff, doesn't he?
JJ did get a hit. He was 1 for 3. Cardinals had 2 hits. JJ had 1 of them. Vic went 0 for 2, although he did score the Cardinals run.
You can also move right along from the NL Central scores now if you'd like.
Well, that was next.
My Cubs are stumbling.
What's going on there?
I don't know. They are a disaster. 9 in a row they've now lost. Yeah. Pirates got them today.
Pirates beat them 2-1. And the Cubs are inching back towards the 500 mark. And the Pirates opening this series, I believe it's a 4-game series.
The crowd looked great there.
Yeah.
I watched that on TV for a while. Crowd looked tremendous at PNC.
So Carmen Mazinski threw 5 innings, and the Pirates broke the 1-1 tie on a Henry Davis home run, of all things, in the 7th inning. And Spencer Horowitz is hot. He had 2 more hits today. Brandon Lau is hot. He had 2 more hits today. O'Neal Cruz is hot. He had 2 more hits today. And Henry Davis, who's batting 144, hits the game-winning home run. He snapped the tie with that home run. So the Pirates beat the Cubs 2-1. They hand the Cubs their 9th consecutive loss. Orioles won today as well, 9-7 at home over Tampa Bay. So Memorial Day, a very special day to many, many people. We understand that. and it kind of gets there's a lot of sports that go on a day like this, and we've spent the entire hour talking about sports and talking about WVU baseball, but certainly a deep and profound meaning to this day, and we don't mean to overlook that at all.
Yeah, well said, and certainly appreciate everybody out there, and thank you for joining us tonight, too. We know you have a lot going on, and thanks for tuning in and checking out sports here for a little bit.
Indeed. So, again, Brody Kresser on Three Guys Before the Game. That podcast will drop coming up early tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be back. Greg will be back, and we'll have another edition of the CityNet Statewide Sportsline coming up from Tuesday. And, again, we'll continue to focus on this Mountaineer baseball team accomplishing great things. They'll try and win this regional that they are set to host. It will begin on Friday, and also coverage of the softball championship.
Hey, one other thing here. Deuce McBride and the Knicks looking to polish off the Mike Gansey Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Surprised the way this series has gone. 3-0 Knicks have a chance to close it tonight on the road in Cleveland and advance to the finals.
Never recovered from that.
We asked about that, right? Yeah, they have not yet. You're right. They have not yet. So we'll see if they've got a little life in them, can get one tonight, or if it's Deuce and company onto the finals.
That's the Sportsline for tonight. Thanks for listening and watching. We're back again tomorrow night. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.